Hey guys, welcome to another A Brand 3's Halo costume making tutorial. This is the tutorial that a lot of you have been waiting for. This is the Mark 6 high definition helmet tutorial. So this is it. This is what I've done with it. There's a lot out there that are a lot better than this one, obviously, but for about 50 bucks, this isn't bad. Right now we'll go over a list of materials of what you'll need to do all the extra detail that we talked about in earlier tutorials. First, you'll need a sheet of this black foam paper. You can find it at any arts and crafts store because this is what the floating faces will be made out of. Next, you'll need a bilge pipe. It's a corrugated plastic. You only need about a linear foot of it. It's about $1. You can find it at any home improvement store, Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever. And then you'll need a full-faced mirrored shield, gold color, which can be found at any motorsport store, motorcycle store, you name it. Just go in there and ask them for any model, full-face mirrored shield, gold color, and this is what your visor will be made out of. You'll need this double-sided sticky Velcro, which can be found at Walmart or Target, and you'll need just a roll of generic masking tape. Then you'll need just any brand of spray adhesive. You may also need a rotary tool. They can be expensive or they can be cheap, just depending on the model that you buy. I found this Black & Decker brand for about 25 bucks, and then any extra accessories that you need. You will need a cutting head. It cuts through plastic. It's what you'll be needing to cut the visor in so that it'll fit in your helmet correctly. We'll cover the visor first. You can notice that it's actually a lot slimmer now than it is in the picture that I just showed you. That's because I've actually cut the top off just a hair. You may want to put the visor in your helmet and see how much space is, and then leave about ½ an inch of overlap. And then cut the top. You can leave the bottom. You'll obviously need to cut a notch in the nose area on the helmet so that that fits correctly. You may also want to trim the sides off a little bit because you don't want it wrapping all the way around your head. Cut it off just past your temple area, because what I like to do is actually use the Velcro to fasten it inside the helmet with. So you'll need some space for the Velcro strips as well. So in essence, it should be about like that on the inside of your helmet. The detailing, the painting right here, you'll actually need to use the masking tape to tape off these fine lines, and as well as this dark area here, to make the pattern on the front. This is actually kind of more like Halo 2, but the layered version, you actually have to buy a second visor, and that can get kind of expensive, especially if you mess it up. This is actually the black auto primer that you've already bought for the custom painting. So this is what it should look like. Just double check, double measure, just measure. You don't want to make a mistake on this, because this is a very significant investment to your helmet. It's the most expensive piece, so you don't want to mess it up. Just measure twice and cut once. So now that you've got it looking like this, you will need to flex it a little bit to get it in your helmet, depending on how big your helmet is, how big your head is. So now that you're ready to insert it, you'll need to put the other side of the sticky Velcro, just align where the visor falls, and stick the other sided Velcro strips at the appropriate spots inside the helmet, so that when you insert it, it sticks in there. And Velcro is actually a really cheap way to do it, and it works really well. Keeps it in there nice and snug. Just make sure you've got it snug up against the edges here. Make sure that your painting is correct, this dark area, all the lines, you make sure the pattern is correct. Moving on to the floating faces, this is the foam paper that you bought at the arts and crafts store. You can see that I've already been cutting it out. What you do is when you actually model this, when you print it out in Pepakura, this model came with the floating faces separate. What you can actually do is place the floating faces on top of this paper and use your cutting, your X-Acto knife, to actually just cut out the paper as it's on the foam underneath. And what it'll do is, as you're cutting the paper out, it'll also make the outline in the actual foam paper. So you take it out, and then you place it on your helmet using the spray adhesive. You spray on the actual helmet, then you spray on the side of the foam paper. Let it dry till it's tacky. It takes about a minute, and then place it on there. But you need to be sure you place it correctly the first time, because it's the devil try to get off. Here's a face. Here's a face. Here's a face. There's a bunch here. The extra painting here is actually the silver metallic paint that you use to do the battle scarring. You just paint the edges, the bottom edges of each one of these faces. There's also faces here on the brim. You'll also notice that these two are also painted green. You'll need to check and make sure, even just take a picture of Master Chief in the game and make sure that you've got all the faces that need to be painted and all the faces that need to be black. Now moving on to the bilge pipe. This is what it looks like. It's about 2 inches in diameter, just a linear foot of it, like I said. This is what you'll be making the hoses out of on the jaw area here. You just cut out a section of it. Just make sure you've got it, the height and the length of this area here on both sides. And you'll notice the tapered edge here, the rounded edge here, just get some scissors or something to trim that off. You can also use the spray adhesive to adhere this. The only bad thing with that is you don't want to get any extra spray adhesive all over your jaw area here. So if you do choose to do the spray adhesive, be sure you tape off the rest of the helmet so that you don't sticky it up before you apply it into the area that you also paint it black with that auto primer, that black auto primer, so that it's the correct color. So that's it. I've tried to explain it the best I could. Hopefully it'll make more sense when you're actually doing it. But it's a great project. It's a lot of fun, and this is something you definitely want to do right and spend the most time on, because it's the most, it's the pinnacle of your costume. It's what everybody's going to be looking at. Hope that has helped. So, good luck to everybody in making your own helmet.